What up, what up, what up? It's good, folks, man. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the realest show in the land. A puff a minute coming at you live from the backyard studio. I'm your boy, Mick.
This is Jared. What's good, people?
Yeah, we back at y'all, man. So listen, bro. You know, we out here. We missed last week. You know, we apologize because we know we got some real followers out there that actually reached out and said, hey, we ain't see y'all. You know, what's going on? So we appreciate you. Look, man, we was watching them games last week. We got caught up a little bit. Maybe had a few adult beverages in the midst of it all.
And a few smokes.
And, you know, we had a whole crew of folk. So we really didn't get a chance to come back at you, you know. But it's all good. So we're here this week in the here and now. Got plenty to talk about. But the show is Cigars and Conversations.
Absolutely. So what we smoking today?
So let's start with the cigars, bro. So I'm coming at y'all today with that Herrera Estelle, by Drew Estates. You know what I'm saying? Real light, medium body type of smoke, man. You know, just something to enjoy in this beautiful Sunday afternoon. How about yourself, bro?
Hey, I had to go with a classic, man. One of our good people, AJ Fernandez.
Yes.
Shout out to the AJ
Friend
company.
of the Puff.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
AJ came out to the Big Smoke event in November and brought his new line, the San Lotano. So this is that new line, Maduro. Beautiful smoke. AJ, if you know AJ, you gotta love AJ. AJ, I haven't smoked a bad AJ Fernandez yet.
Not here,
so
bro.
you know this is his new line. We really appreciate the love from AJ, especially from Drew Estates as well.
Drew Estates, man. Both of these guys, man. We should say AJ Fernandez, ¿Cómo está mi amigo? You know what I'm saying, mi hermano, mucho amor, and then also the fellas from Drew Estates, man. Both friends of the Puff a Minute, man.
Absolutely.
Great supporters, man, you know what I'm saying? So again, man, support these brands out here because they keep coming back and they keep coming back with more and more of that good premium tobacco, man, that we all love and enjoy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What about the pairing, baby?
Hey, yes, we going with this nice little gentleman jack today.
Yes.
Hey, like I say, I feel like I have my tux on right now, bro. To get my Frank Sinatra on.
Exactly, man. We just keeping it light and simple.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon in lovely Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we do.
This is what we do.
Exactly.
This is what we do.
So we're going to talk a little bit, man, about the happenings in the world, some current events and all of that good stuff, man. Go ahead and kick it off, bro.
Man, I think we beat this one up for the last few weeks. Like I said, our real followers of a Puff a Minute know we've been beating them up, man. We've been beating them up. The government shutdown has finally ended. After 36 days, 36 days, we get a temporary opening of the government. You know, and I like I said, I don't think that we truly appreciate the fact that what the government employees that were directly affected by the shutdown. And I liken it to this. The last time we had a long-term shutdown, it was 19 days. And from a banking standpoint, economically, we say in those 19 days, the SBA program was shut down as well. And the SBA program at that time had over 1,500 loans that were backed up in the system. So you do the math, 36 days, you know, 1,500 loans the last time in 19 days. Do the math, you're talking over 3,000 loans. Billions of dollars of economic impact just right there. In that little microcosm.
That little sector.
That little microcosm. We're talking small business owners that were directly affected by the government shutdown. So, you know, I think the whiplash effect is yet to be seen. The way this ripple is going to go through the economy. I've heard a few economic analysts here locally giving reports. And truly, I feel like their reports are 30 to 60 days behind, to be honest with you, because they wrote their reports based on year-end numbers and year-end impact, but they haven't been able to quantify what the economic impact is going to be able to shut down. So, you know, yet to be seen. I hope it's not as bad as I think it is. I'm no expert by any means. You know, I'm a very much of a novice, but
you're the expert on this panel, though.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? But no, on the real, I mean, that's your world. You're in the banking world and what have you, man. I've always felt like, to your point, you can't turn a government on and off like a light switch. It just doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when they shut down the government, and for it to last that long, brother, and everybody is thinking about the direct impact that it was having on those federal workers, all right? But there were so many indirect impacts as a result of it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is, I mean, they're talking about this in Davos right now, in Switzerland, man, about the economic impact worldwide based on the government shutdown in America over the last 36 days. All right? So if it's impacting on that macro scale, imagine what it's doing to the average American, whether you're a federal worker or not a federal worker. Now, I have my thoughts as to why we finally came to the impasse, so that they said, okay, you know what, you know, Trump decided to fold, man, for lack of a better, reason, a better, terminology. But that's basically what had to happen. And I want to give shout out to Atlanta, Georgia, man, because I feel like Atlanta had a lot to do with this. Should I say more?
Say more. Say more.
Let me say more. Let me
so I'm
say
sure
more
you
about
put
this.
some of the viewers on game.
Yeah. So here we go. All right. Last week, in Atlanta, the Uber organization threatened that they were not going to be picking up any riders the day before and the day after the Super Bowl as a result of the government shutdown. All right. On top of that, Joe Madison, who comes on, urban, whatever, I can't remember the station on satellite radio every morning. He went out there and he put out this little proposal, said, you know what, all the TSA workers in Atlanta, the busiest airport in America, you know what I'm saying, they should all threaten to, or have a sick out, everybody calling sick the day after the Super Bowl. Since they're not being paid any daggone way, calling sick. Now, they calling sick. Do you realize the impact that would have with all of those people who are in Atlanta for the Super Bowl who now cannot get home? Right? Imagine these people who can't get Uber rides. And all. This thing was getting big. It got so big that, what was it? It was Friday when they announced that the shutdown was closed. Yeah. Right? Or that the government was on again, or what have you, right? That they ended the shutdown. Friday morning, TSA announced that they mysteriously had come up with some money because they were so worried about the Super Bowl. And they said, you know what, we found some money from 2018 that was not used. We're going to reallocate some funds from 2019. So we're going to make sure that people get some partial payments. Because they knew if there was a sick out, bro, and those people did not show up, it was going to have global impact, brother. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the fear of them being there, and not to mention the fact that, with security and all of that other stuff that goes on, I really feel like that was getting into people's head. You know what I'm saying? There's like, look, we cannot have a government shutdown during the time of the Super Bowl. And I feel like Atlanta, on a real, like those people who threatened to call in sick, those Uber drivers and all of that type of stuff, really, man, whether you believe it or not, they weighed in on the decision like, we need to end this now. So, Trump said, listen, I take full responsibility of the shutdown. And then he said, it's them Democrats. Trump said, I won't accept any deal that doesn't have the $5.7 billion in it for, this wall. And then he said, you know what? There's no money allocated for a wall in this temporary, this temporary deal and whatnot. He said, they're going to go back and they're going to come back with some stuff and so on. They could have did that on day one. They could have did that on day one. He could have said, Congress, go back. Now, here's the deal. The plan that they just approved, so to speak, to go back and renegotiate, that was accepted back in December.
It's the same plan.
But Ann Coulter, Rush Limbaugh, and all of these other cat, I can't think of his name right now, so they all called Trump weak. And Trump came back and doubled down and said, nope, no deal. This is it. I want the money, boom, 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 and start banging his fist on the table. Feel me? Now we're all the way back to square one. And all I got to say is 36 days. The nation is in recovery mode. It's going to be in recovery mode for a very long time. And what have we gained? What have we learned from this, America?
Now, that's crazy to think. Because you think that's one event that occurs in the U.S. that generates billions of dollars of economic impact. Billions from one event. So if that tells you right there that there was more pressure on them to get the government open because of that one event, and not just that one event, but that just goes to show like they understand. I think they understand that the ripple effect is going to be huge. They was counting that one event, which was $1 billion event, right? Between ticket sales, TV ads, programming, sales of merchandise, all these things, right? That was billions of dollars of impact. Okay, you kick out that one event. Now all the other stuff that's been happening before the Super Bowl. Add that up to it. Okay, you can qualify the Super Bowl, but what about all the stuff before that? The Fed changed its plan, right? The Fed went from, we were going to do 2 to 3 more rate hikes this year, to, no, we're in an economic slowdown. And that if we continue to do these rate hikes, we could continue that economic slowdown. And there was no plan right now to raise interest rates. Now, mind you, interest rates is how a lot of investors make money. When the economy slowed down the first time, investors weren't making money. They were not making money on their money. So now it's like, okay, they made all this money, right? Stock prices. But stock prices, That's a very objective or subjective thing that I don't think we can really quantify.
Exactly.
Why stocks go up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
But people have made a crap ton of money in the stock market over the last month. I'd say 18 to 19 months or whatever, right? So now you have the economic slowdown from investor income and from actual operations, not just passive income. It's like, how do you quantify all of that?
You don't. you experience it.
But I always tell people, right? My background is economics. Right? I got my undergrad in economics. So they always told us economics is a science, right? You can't go into the economy and say, I'm gonna jack everything up and see what happens. Everything's past tense. You're always looking at what happened as a result of that. Exactly. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like. What these economists are going to write about.
You and me both. You and me both. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, I knew it was going to come to a head the way that it did, right? And I feel like, the positioning or the spin on it, if you are, a Trump supporting Republican, his whole thing is, well, I ended the shutdown and I got you guys back to work. You feel me? So that's the spin on that side. Of course, on the other side of it, it's a little bit different, as far as the reality of it. But at the end of the day, like you said, man, regardless of the spin, regardless of, this has been a traumatic event that will go down in the annals of American history, as one of the most unsuccessful, coups attempts, in the history of this country, bro. Like, to me, it's just, it's beyond belief, man.
And we talked about it before. The investigation is getting thick. The investigation is getting thick. So I think between that, the pressures of the economy, those real Trump supporters that really supported Trump his entire term, no matter what he did, I think all of that was an accumulation that came together and said, you know what, it's starting to be too much, and we're going to have to figure something else out.
It's starting to unravel, man. It's all starting to, even the whole threat of declaring a national emergency.
Right.
Even that, man. Well, I still have this power, and I still have this card up my sleeve. But do you realize that the last time a state of emergency was declared, national state of emergency was declared in the United States, was after 9/11? Okay. Do you know 9/11 was a real national emergency?
It was.
Okay.
It was.
No question about it. It was a real national emergency. Do you know it took the Supreme Court 45 days to approve that funding after it was declared a national 45. So everybody's like, if he declares his national emergency, it's like he's not gonna have the money tomorrow. Right? Yeah. And he may never get the money, because you can't tell me that what you're declaring as a national emergency on the southern border is actually a national emergency. This dude is talking about women being thrown in vans with duct tape over their mouth and this, that, and the other thing. We need to do this because of that. This is the same dude that was bragging about grabbing women in the pussy. You see what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden it's a national emergency because no evidence, but you want to change the narrative that all of these women and children are in danger. You know what I'm saying? So we need to do something. We need to build a wall because that's what's going to stop that. Come on, man. If we as Americans could ever get past the BS of of political propaganda, man, where people are putting these ideals in your head and you don't learn how to think for yourself and call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Go by facts and not by somebody who tells upwards of 25 lies a day. Like verifiable lies. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, what is it gonna take? I'm done, man. I'm done with my spiel, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is the Puffer Minute, and once y'all get Mick on a roll, I'm gonna let you know. It might not be what some of y'all want to hear, but all I can do is keep it real. Like I said, this is the realest show on the internet right now.
It's what needs to be said. But anyway, we're gonna get off that. We're gonna get off that. It was something else I wanted to talk about, man. If you're not watching this special on Netflix, you need to turn it on. It's Killer Mike. Trigger warning.
Trigger warning.
Hey, this has been one of the dopest shows I've watched in a long time, bro. And I love Killer Mike. I love Killer Mike's activism. I've loved what he's been talking about, loving yourself for being black. I've loved this whole movement he's been on over the last 10 years or so, right? But he came out with this special, man. On the first episode, he took himself through an exercise of spending 3 days of spending black.
Wow.
3 days of spending black. He would not buy, eat, or do anything if it was not black. He couldn't drive his car because it wasn't black made.
Is that right?
He couldn't eat the food in his house because it wasn't black made.
How'd that work out?
Bro, he went to the strip club. Goes to Blue Flame. Wouldn't spend money on the Asian stripper. I was dying. He said, I love you, but you Asian. I can't spend no money with you tonight.
That's funny. That's funny there.
But what it showed is, okay, there was something we always talk about. And shout out to Charles Whitby, man. Charles, we started Black Fridays, right?
Yeah.
So on Fridays, we made an effort to spend black. Yeah. Whatever it was, whether it was eating at a restaurant, we went in and bought merchandise. We started Black Fridays between the three of us, or four of us, however many we had following us, right? At the time, yeah. So we was doing Black Fridays. He talked about that, and especially said, okay, how long do you think the black dollar stays in the black community? He showed the statistics. It was horrible. 6 hours, bro.
Wow.
6 hours the black dollar stays in the black community.
Remarkable. Wow.
But hey, watch the special, man, because he does a special on worshiping a white Jesus. Man, becoming a sovereign nation was one episode. If you're not watching it, people, please turn it on.
I was gonna say something funny, like it lasts less than 6 hours if you got the Blue Flame.
Hey, yeah. And look, hey, Blue Flame is black owned though for 3 decades. So he was doing this thing at Blue Flame, man.
Wow, that's funny, man.
Hey, but it was just crazy, man. The stuff he was talking about is stuff we need to be like really paying attention to, and I don't think we do it. We talked about it before on the show about religion, right?
Yeah.
Something that's very unpopular. True. But we talked before about.
We do a lot of unpopular things at the Puff a Minute.
Very unpopular topic to talk about, right? Even in the black community. To tell my grandmother that I have questions about Jesus is not something that she wants to hear. So in the show, he talks about worshiping this white Jesus.
Wow.
But it's just these topics that we talk about in the Puff. We've talked about maybe in conversation with each other, but never come out openly and said, this dude is doing it openly, out in the open, talking about this. He's on a platform that's well respected on Netflix, getting a Netflix special, bro. I shout out to Killer Mike, bro.
First of all, I haven't seen the show. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you putting this on game. Now it's definitely something that I got to go look, man, because I was watching like the second season of The Punisher. So I got to go find that. But but I had the good fortune of meeting Killer Mike in Atlanta, on a few occasions and stuff like that. Real solid brother, man, right? Real solid cat. I will say this, man, on the whole, like religious tip and, the white Jesus and stuff like that. Because some people may have, like, when you say something like that, people automatically, get their, their feathers up, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, and there's a resistance. But I will follow that up with, one of the 10 commandments was that thou shalt not create any graven images, okay? And that's the reason why, the reason for that, all right, is because God the Almighty is the God of everybody. You know what I'm saying? If I was to create an image of what I thought God looked like, it's going to look like how I look. If somebody else, if Leonardo da Vinci creates a depiction of Jesus or God or what have you, it's going to look the way that Leonardo da Vinci, you know what I'm saying, how he envisions, that deity to be. So the reason why you were never supposed to make any graven images, because by doing so, you are going to alienate millions of other people.
Yes.
You follow me? So again, so that I'm not saying, so to your point, the reason why we have these pictures of a white Jesus is not historically accurate. It's because that's how Da Vinci painted it, bro. When he painted the Last Supper and all of those other things. You know what I'm saying? So again,
that's exactly the premise of the show. He's not telling you not to
see the show, y'all.
He's not telling you to not believe in the teachings of the Bible. He's not telling you not to believe in your religion and your beliefs. He's telling you, why does that God not have to represent you? If you're gonna worship a God, why that God can't look like you? And if you were, it said we were all made in His image.
Exactly.
So why can't He look like me? Why can't He look like a white person? But that was all He was saying. Is that we don't have to worship a God that we don't believe looks like us.
True. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it right
there.
The
image.
I didn't see the show, y'all.
Hey.
But I studied.
Absolutely, bro. Hey, man, I think we done gave him a lot today.
Yeah, today was heavy,
y'all. We done bust him in the head again.
We've been holding this in for a week. I feel so much better now. Yo, man. Thanks for joining us for another episode of A Puff a Minute. This is what we do, y'all. Like I said, man, we smoke cigars and we talk. You know what I'm saying? And we conversate. And they say iron sharpens iron. This brother right here, y'all see why I rock with this dude, right? You know what I'm saying? So again, y'all, it is what it is. We appreciate you for joining us. Hey, shout out to Whiskey Girl Josie, man, out there, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Another friend of the Puff. If you ever get a chance to check out what she's doing on the IG, on the gram, I should say. Go peep it out and stuff like that. I want to shout out Illusion Cigars also, man. Those are good friends of the Puff as well.
Absolutely.
I know you guys sent a package out to us, and we haven't been able to pick it up yet. I'm going to pick that up tomorrow from the post office box and everything like that. And we're going to feature you guys next week, man, because y'all been really rocking with us and supporting us, all right?
Yeah,
so that's what's up, man. So,
hey, before we get out of here, we don't want to forget, we are doing a contest this month. So we don't want to forget this month is
mystery box.
Yes, the mystery box giveaway.
Right.
It's some real good stuff in the box, people. True. It's some stuff you're gonna really like to use. You know, for you cigar aficionados.
Absolutely.
It's some good stuff in the box. You're gonna want to make sure you enter into the contest.
No doubt.
Now here's how you gotta enter into the contest.
Talk to 'em.
Make sure you gotta do these 4 things.
Break it down.
You gotta make sure to like us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Make sure to like the YouTube page. Click the bell link as well so you get the notifications. And make sure to send us the email.
Whoa,
send the email to info@apuffaminute.com.
Come on.
Saying enter me with your information. We got to know where to send the stuff to, people. Yeah. We got to know where to send it to.
Absolutely.
Do all 4 of those things. We'll get you entered into the contest. We're going to do it on IG Live. We'll do the giveaway at the end of this month. Yep. You only got a few days left, people, so make sure to get entered. We want to give it away.
Let's go.
We want to give it away.
Yes.
So please get entered. We'll make sure to get it out to you, man. Like I say, it's going to be some stuff you're going to like.
Exactly, man. And before we sign off, man, this is my plea to the people that are out there that watch our show. We get a lot of email. We get a lot of comments, man. We get a lot of feedback saying, you know what? I really love what you guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? You guys are doing something a little different. You're sharing information. You're sharing great cigars or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate that. But if you really want to show love to a Puff a Minute, man, this is what I need you to do. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, y'all.
Please.
All right, please subscribe. I mean, this is my plea to you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, right? Share it with a friend and get your friend to subscribe as well, right? Because we're trying to get that subscribership up. We're trying to take this show to a whole nother level, but we need your support to do that.
Absolutely.
All right? So until then, you know, this is your boy Mick.
And this is Jaron, people.
Thank you for joining us for another Puff a Minute. And you can clearly see that a Puff a Minute, we are not just blowing smoke.
Yes, sir.
Peace, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.